tiger alike. Fish was well liked by friends and family and eagle alike.
Hello. Hi, it's working. Hang on, I can't be very loud because like late and stuff. Maybe that's too loud. I don't know. Let me just fix something. Okay. Alright, just give me a sec. I'll tell you what we're doing today. So the last stream I did was just on Kick, and it was about this Gary's Economics guy. He did a documentary that I did a review of. No one really watched it, but you know, whatever. So you've got this guy. He's like a, what does he call himself? Inequality economist, and he pushes like wealth tax and stuff. You know, populist kind of shit. So you've got this guy, successful, written books, 1.64 million subscribers, and then you've got Barry's Economics with 172k subscribers. This channel, inspired by Gary's Economics, is an ongoing investigation into how power really works. We're figuring it out together. So you've got that. And then you've got Andrew's Economics. We see that? We can see that. We've got Andrew's Economics. So I live in the UK, I care about the growing inequality I see in society. Fair enough, listen, me too. On this channel, I focus on issues that affect the average person on the street. I'm particularly interested in the UK job market and falling living standards. This channel is inspired by Gary's Economics and by Barry's Economics. It's like crazy, there's so many of them, it looks so like culty. I don't think that like Gary's Economics is getting people to do this, but it's just so weird. You don't really see this. But this is quite new. I'm quite fascinated by this. So we're gonna just see what is on here. I'm loving the thumbnail game. This is me as fuck, you know, get a blocky font. You do it in one color, and then you do it slightly off in the background in black. So it like shadows it, but then the shadow is like in different places on different thumbnails. It's very me. It's very me circa a year ago. I do appreciate that part. But yeah, I want to see what he's about. Why you couldn't watch the Champions League final? Don't care about that. We'll start here and just work our way through because I'm fascinated. Let me just...
narrative that this is.
Excuse me, one sec. What do you do? Okay.
Really frustrating right-wing narrative that I hear all the time, that young people are lazy. If only they were willing to work, like we did when we were young, the older generations.
So I'm not seeing any books about economics. Like, it's all fiction. I don't really get why you'd sit in front of like a bookshelf when it's all like fiction. Like, I get it when it's like people like President Sunday who talk about a lot of like philosophy and they have like philosophy books behind them. Like, this is just like, you've got like Stephen King and like stuff like that. Like, mostly like, you've got like cookbooks down here and stuff. It's rather strange. It's rather strange.
They would be fine. They would be able to move out of their parents' house, save up for a deposit to get a house of their own, or go to university without needing to take out massive student loans. But they don't want to. It's nonsense. Now, I know, I'm not a young person.
I really never hear people complain about student loans, by the way. Like, I've never paid mine. I'm still here, you know, I don't know. It's not something I ever hear about. It doesn't seem to be that much of a problem, but hey.
Look how deeply etched these lines are in my forehead. But I do work with young people every day, and it's obvious to me that life is much, much harder now than it was for me growing up. Since
The thing is, the point of university isn't it supposed to be to like get into particular professions? If you're just doing some like wanky shit like what I did, then it's like, well, it was kind of my choice to do that, you know. Ultimately, I just don't really get why people bitch about them so much.
2008, there's been a financial crash, 14 years of Tory austerity, Brexit, COVID, and now a cost of living crisis. It hasn't been an easy time for Gen Z to grow up. Now here we are in 2026
Gen Z, you're British, mate. It's Z, not Z. Gross.
with one of the most brutal job markets I've ever seen. Today, I'm going to talk about Gen Z and explain why they're having such a tough time getting into work. Spoiler, it's not because they're lazy. So this is such a classic Daily Mail article,
It's a good start for like a populist, you know. It's not because you're lazy, it's someone else's fault.
real rage bait worthy headline trying to perpetuate the idea that a whole generation is lazy. There's nothing wrong with the economy. It's fine. It's just that Gen Z want to start on 40k a year. They're so entitled. They don't want to work their way up like we did when we were young. See more Daily Mail on Google. Save us as a preferred source. Yeah, preferred source of toilet paper. This article was apparently written by their senior news reporter.
He's got sass, I'll give him that.
Sorry, dude, but you can either be a reporter or you can work for the Daily Mail, but you can't be both.
I don't know why he's arguing with the Daily Mail, though. It's kind of pointless.
I mean, this is just such a lazy article. Something they're accusing Gen Z of being. They're internet obsessed. Because boomers, Gen X and millennials, we don't waste hours and hours of our day scrolling through social media and posting nonsense on Facebook. We would never. I mean, their logic about Gen Z being job shy falls apart very quickly. So if you're like me and you're a millennial, or you're in Gen X, or you're a boomer, think back to the first jobs that you did when you were growing up. How many of them still exist? Society has massively changed just in the last
The job market is fucked, that is true.
20 years. A major review of youth unemployment has been published by Alan Milburn, and it's summarised really well in this article in The Independent. Well, I think it is, once you get rid of the annoying video that pops up and begins autoplaying. One of the key findings is that there has been a sharp decline in the number of entry-level jobs. The report says that there are 1.6 million fewer low and medium-skilled jobs in the economy than in previous years. Entry-level jobs, the kind of job you need at the beginning of your career because you don't have any experience and you need to develop the skills to be able to do a more senior role. The kind of role that many in Gen Z are looking for at the moment. So, senior Daily Mail reporter, if you bothered to do some actual reporting rather than knocking up some lazy right-wing nonsense on your keyboard, you would realise why many in a generation aren't going out to work. The boss of the retailer Next has spoken about the dramatic fall in entry-level jobs that he sees. He said that at Next, they used to get 10 applications for every job that opened up. Now they get 19. Oof. So you're competing against 18 other people at an age when you don't have any real work experience. How do you differentiate yourself from 18 other people when you haven't had a job yet and if you're still studying? Good luck. And looking back at the entry-level jobs that I was able to do when I was growing up, it makes sense. I got into work when I turned 13 years old. My first job was delivering newspapers every morning, 7 days a week. I didn't enjoy having to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning, but I did enjoy being paid £15
I'm seeing the paperboy vibes, yeah, definitely.
a week. Now I know, £15 a week isn't much, and it doesn't go far in 2026. But this was back in 1997. You could do quite a bit with £15 a week then. I bought lots of games of mine
Wait, hang on. How old is this guy?
but I did enjoy being paid £15 a week. Now I know, £15 a week isn't much, and it doesn't go far in 2026. But this was back in 1997.
How old was he? 13?
7 days a week. I didn't enjoy having to wake up, differentiate yourself from 18 other people when you haven't had a job yet, and if you're still studying. Good luck. And looking back at the entry-level job, I turned 13 years old. My first job was delivering newspapers every morning. 97. You could do quite a bit with
13 in 1997. What? 80... 83? 84? Well old.
£15 a week then. I bought lots of games for my Nintendo 64. Yes, the original Smash Brothers was top tier. I still maintain that Kirby was massively overpowered. I also bought plenty of tapes and VHS cassettes. Look, it
Very relatable.
was a different time, okay?
Listen, he doesn't have to fake it like Gary. He is just a shitter like the rest of us.
But society has changed massively since then. How many people order newspapers to be delivered every morning? Not too many now. We're happy enough reading the news on our phones. The result of that is there aren't too many paperboys out there in 2026. So Gen Alpha, I'm sorry, but I don't think this is going to be your first job. And if you're in Gen Z...
I'm listening to Andrew's Economics. He's inspired by Gary's Economics and Barry's Economics. There's a kind of chain of them. There's a kind of cult developing on YouTube. It's great.
This probably wasn't
Talking about we're getting a job is hard.
Your first job either. Another important entry-level job for me was a temporary Christmas job I got when I was 16. I only did the job on a Sunday for about 10 weeks, but it got me some experience in retail, which helped me get a permanent...
Now, we don't have basements here. He could be in his childhood home. It doesn't look... I mean, the plushies are a bit, you know... Not sure.
job in retail later. This job was at a big store that sold thousands of items. Customers would browse big laminated catalogues.
I do really hate the wallpaper though. That is hideous.
Pay for what they wanted and collect their items from me at the collection points. Why were the catalogues laminated? What did they think customers would be doing when they were shopping? Actually, no, let's not go there. Laminated catalogue. Big store that sold thousands of items. Customers would browse big laminated catalogues, pay for what they wanted, and collect their items from me at the collection points. Why were the catalogues laminated? What did they think customers would be doing when they were shopping?
Well, like tearing them and shit. And like if they need to clean them, it's much easier to do it. Like if they're getting like shit everywhere, much easier to just wipe it off a laminated thing.
Actually, no, let's not go there. That store
Okie dokie.
no longer exists. In fact, that whole shopping centre doesn't exist anymore. It was demolished and then left derelict for years.
Doesn't mind doxing himself, I guess.
Right in the centre of the city. Gen Z, sorry.
I'm not going to look it up, but like, I don't know, man. I couldn't do that.
But you're probably not going to do this as your first job. And you won't be doing any of the hundreds of other roles that were lost when that shopping centre closed down. My next entry-level job I got when I was 17, and it was really important for me. I worked on the checkout at a supermarket. I know, it doesn't sound impressive, but it was massively important. I was able to effectively work as many hours as I wanted. When I was busy with sick form, I just worked weekends. It's worth pointing out that Sundays paid time and a half back then. That is not the case anymore. Lol, capitalism. When I wasn't so busy with sick form,
Can't tell if this is like irony.
anymore. Lol, capitalism. And a half back then. That is not the case anymore. Lol, capitalism. When I wasn't so busy with sick form, I worked the
There has to be like some kind of weird irony, right?
weekends and then 3 evenings a week. I was able to save loads of money, well, by an 18-year-old standards, and that helped me pay for university. If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have been able to support myself. Mum and Dad, they both left school when they were 15. Morally, I felt like it would have been wrong for me to expect them to fund my time at university. In 2026, the job still exists, but there's been a massive drop in the number of people doing it. A supermarket doesn't need a dozen checkout lanes open anymore. Just a couple will do, with most people going through self-checkout. You only need a couple of people looking after those. The final entry-level job I got was in an office doing data entry. It was easy and it was boring, but I was hired the week after I came home from university. Wow, I must have put together a strong application or blown their socks off at interview to get hired so quickly. Nope, it was nepotism. Mum worked in that office and knew that there was a vacancy in that team. She spoke to a line manager and I started the next Monday. No questions asked.
Oof, working in an office with your mom.
I didn't need to put together a CV or memorize long made-up answers for competency-based questions. Who needs skills or experience when nepotism will get you to where you want to be? I left that job after a year to pursue...
You can tell he likes Gary's Economics. It's really hammering the point home. I'll go through my entire job history when I'm like old as shit. So I can be like, see, this is why it was easy for me and not for you. It's like, I got it like half the fucking video ago.
An opportunity abroad, and it wasn't long after I left that job was eliminated by automation, a full 10 years before anyone was talking about AI in the workplace. So it's 2026, you're Gen Z, and you
Why does he look blind and confused? It's like his second video.
want an entry-level job. Well, being a paperboy, working that temporary Christmas job, doing as many hours as you want in the supermarket, doing an easy data entry job, how many of those opportunities still exist? There are far fewer entry-level jobs. Hospitality jobs, common jobs for young people, especially for university students, well, they're on the slide too. In April 2026, 66% of hospitality businesses said they planned to cut jobs. 1 in 7 said that they would close. This is because it's a very tough environment for this
Close.
industry. Changes by the Chancellor
What is this guy's point? It's difficult for young people to get jobs, which I am inclined to agree with, but I don't know why we need. I don't know. I think you smoke too much. He's been making it extremely obvious, like the entire video, and like nothing else.
Chancellor Rachel Reeves to business rates, along with increases to the minimum wage, is putting pressure on hospitality businesses. 42% of hospitality businesses said that they would
What he needs to do now is bring it round to and this is why we need a wealth tax.
reduce their trading hours. The cost of living crisis, which shows no sign of slowing down, is also not helping. I noticed that I go out to meals with my family less often. A trip to the pub on a Saturday is now the exception rather than the rule. So what can we do? Well, firstly, be kind to young people. This young person calling into LBC shows just how tough economically, but also mentally, the current job market is for young people.
I apply every single day. I'm applying for jobs. I trained as a physician associate, and that's got its own set of complications. But I'm looking for any job that I can possibly get that'll give me a career and not just part-time 0 hours work. It's so hard to get your foot in the door. I'm lucky if I get a rejection email nowadays.
How many are you sending out, would you say?
Right, it's just the same thing. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Okay, sure. GTA 6 proves that living standards are worse. What the fuck does that mean?
So the price of GTA 6 has been revealed, and in the UK, it's going to be £70 for the standard edition, or £90 if you want the ultimate edition. Meanwhile, in the States,
That sounds about right, to be honest.
our American friends will need to pay $80 for the standard version, or $100 for the ultimate. Honestly, it's not a surprise to see this kind of price tag for GTA 6, and it's very much in keeping with the rest of the industry. Anyone who's into gaming can see that since the 2000s, our experience gets worse and worse with every passing year.
It's like Jim Sterling.
How much? Lol, capitalism. Today I want to
Oh,
talk
that's his thing. It's like a what's the word? It's a catchphrase. Lol capitalism. That's epic.
about why this shows yet again that our living standards are worse than they were 20 years ago. GTA 6. Capitalism. Today I want to talk about why this shows yet again that our living standards are worse than they were 20 years ago. GTA
This is BreadTube in 2026, everyone.
6, arguably the most anticipated game of all time. It's been 13 years since
Did you just R GTA 6? Sorry, I'm getting spun out by like everything here.
our living standards are worse than they were 20 years ago. GTA 6.
This is amazing. This is so much better than the other video.
Arguably the most anticipated game of all time. It's been 13 years since the initial release of GTA 5, and expectations for GTA 6 are sky high. That means the pressure's really on for Rockstar. How do you live up to those expectations, particularly when the games industry is more competitive than ever before? AAA games
I can't stop. I'm not going to be able to stop.
are incredibly expensive to develop, and then there are no guarantees that they'll be commercial success. This is reflected in how few developers are now prepared to take the risk of making a brand new AAA IP. Competition in the games industry?
GTA 6 is Grand Theft Auto 6. It's a video game. It's extremely anticipated because Grand Theft Auto 5 was huge and sold like shit tons. And it's been like 11 or 12 years or some shit since the last one.
is also incredibly fierce. Rockstar not only needs to compete with other major developers, but it also needs to compete with a new
I'm
wave
just so glad he's explaining all this.
of indie developers too, that are able to make games at a relatively cheap price. Don't get me wrong, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Stardew Valley is one of the best games I've ever played, and it was primarily created by one person, Eric Baroni, Concerned Ape, that guy. The games industry is a much better place with the existence of this kind of game. Unfortunately, Rockstar also
What
needs
does that even mean?
to compete with a number of free-to-play or freemium games. Games like Fortnite or Roblox or Rocket League. Having free-to-play games isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in order to be financially viable, these games are then full of microtransactions for things
Brain rot. That's the point. That's the point.
like cosmetic skins, emotes, battle passes.
GTA 6 is emblematic of why living standards are getting worse. You have to get in with it, you know. It's got 167 views. It needs more. This is epic. This is amazing.
I'm not even sure what the last of those two things are.
Oh, this guy is woke. He's not going to complain about the wokes. He is woke.
Emotes? Are they the same as emojis? Even sure what the last of those two things are. These games are then full of microtransactions for things like cosmetic skins, emotes, battle passes. I'm not even sure what the last of those two things are. Emotes? Are they the same as emojis?
Yeah, whenever people like Jim Sterling say that they lost like viewership because they are trans, this is why Jim Sterling really lost viewership. This is just what he became.
And battle passes? Isn't Fortnite just game after game of last man standing shooting? Unfortunately,
Puberty blockers. He's like 42 or something.
and for me it is, unfortunately, these games are extremely lucrative to make. Why make a game that has a one-time payment of £50 or $60 when you can have a consistent supply of income from new skins and new battle passes, which you can continually pump out every month, year after year? Fortnite was initially released in 2017, yet here we are 9 years later and its popularity shows no sign of falling. Here it is on Xbox Game Pass's most popular games. Rocket League isn't far behind, another free-to-play game. Capitalism being capitalism, companies that can make money like this end up becoming incredibly powerful. In this article, the BBC says that Fortnite is estimated to generate billions of dollars in revenue a year, making it one of the most successful games of all time. That is certainly reflected in the various lists
Yeah, he was, what did he say, 1997? He was 13.
of most profitable games you can find on Google. The Google AI
That's like mid-80s at best, surely.
overview says that Honor of Kings, Candy Crush Saga, God, do you remember every parent's obsession with Candy Crush? PUBG Mobile, Puzzle and Dragons, and Fortnite are all free-to-play games that have generated billions in revenue. Where money is, all other companies follow. Because capitalism. That means that in 2026,
This guy isn't, well, he might be trans. I don't think he is, though.
premium games that you have to pay for, not free-to-play games, they become increasingly enshittified as companies do whatever they can to extract the maximum
I'm sure that's a Jim Sterling term, enshittification.
amount of money from you.
Why didn't he list Jim Sterling? He just said Gary and Barry. He didn't say Jim Sterling was an influence.
WE 2K26, for example, is a premium game. At launch, the standard edition costs £69.99. The King of Kings edition cost £89.99. The Attitude Era
When do we get to the point? When do we... Oh my god. GoldenEye.
that you could pay even more money to skip this and unlock things immediately. It sounds incredibly greedy, like an impossibly high level of greed, but it happened. Back in the day, in the late 90s,
People choose to pay money for like shit in Roblox. Wow. Amazing. Incredible.
we didn't have any of these nonsense. In 1997, when I bought GoldenEye,
He'll be telling me that them being designed to be addictive is the reason next.
64. Okay. When my parent bought GoldenEye 64 for me, because I wasn't old enough, I wasn't 18 yet, it cost £49.99.
Not quite.
And that was it. There was no special edition, no Monday Night Battle Extravaganza edition, one price, all in. There was no battle pass. There were no microtransactions. When it was released, the game was the game. It had to be finished and that was it. There was no DLC. There was no 2020, and it took a long time to get it into a playable state. And while we're talking about greed, let's talk about the most greedy company of them all,
We're getting on for half the video.
Electronic Arts, EA.
What's this got to do with living standards?
FC 26 or 27 or 20.
People spend money on utter shit and then wonder why they don't have any. Yes, I agree.
28 or whatever version that's out when you're watching this has been milking players for years. Its Ultimate Team mode is notorious for trying to extract every last...
Are you telling me that the price of video games is not your biggest personal problem with capitalism? Is that what you're telling me?
possible pound or dollar from its players. In Ultimate Team, you can purchase packs, which are basically loot boxes, and open them with the hope of getting one of their best players, like Ronaldo or Messi, or a special edition of a player that you already own but has a higher ranking. You can pay for packs with coins, which is an in-game currency, which you can earn from winning
He said all that like he watched the World Cup for the first time, like just recently.
matches and doing different tasks
3 weeks ago. It would have been on. Yeah, June 27th.
like squad building challenges, or you can pay with FC points, which is an in-game currency that you can buy with real money. Of course, when you open packs, there is no guarantee that you're going to get a good player, let alone the one you want. Odds of finding the best players are extremely low. This leads to players buying pack after pack after pack for just another chance of finding the player they want for their team. Some might call this gambling, but EA calls this surprise mechanics. It said to the UK Parliament that they are quite ethical and quite 3 years and up. It doesn't matter that children have stolen their parents' credit card to buy points in order to open more packs. This game is
Yeah. How is your credit card in a place where your kid's gonna get it in the first place?
perfectly fine for a 3-year-old to play because they can understand probability, and if they want to spend the hard-earned money on FC points, they can. So Rockstar is offering GTA for £70 or £90 if you want the best edition. That actually feels quite reasonable. It's a bit more
Children might use money on microtransactions. The world is going to end.
expensive than similar games, but it's not obnoxiously high, considering games haven't really increased in price with inflation. That £50 version of GoldenEye 64 is equivalent to £101 in 2026, accounting for inflation. You would expect prices
He has to get onto the cost of living soon, right?
to increase over time. So that's all it is. It's not Rockstar being more greedy. Oh, yeah, that could be problematic. You see, there are quite a lot of people that prefer to have a physical edition of a game. One major
You don't understand. People have to buy this shit. People have to spend money on this shit. You have to understand this. It's not their fault that they're poor. Their living standards are worse because they have to buy the physical edition, deluxe, that's like 90 quid. They have to do it. You don't understand.
advantage of this is that you can resell the game to somebody else once you're done.
What if they get like the ending spoiled or something?
On a very basic level, being able to sell something that you own makes sense, doesn't it? You bought something, you enjoyed it, you
Why
decide
is this important? I'm looking at a weird cult of S economics people. So you've got Gary's economics, you've got Barry's economics, and then you got this guy.
okay, I'm finished, I want to sell it. You sell it to someone at a cheaper price. They're happy because they can pay less for it. You're happy because you got some money back for it.
Right.
That's capitalism, isn't it? Of course, games companies
Say capitalism one more time. He's just still talking about more games. When does he talk about the living standards? The living standards are worse because of this, but he's just talking about more games. Oh, there's another lol capitalism.
never actually owned the game. Instead, they bought a license for it, which they had decided had come to an end in 2020.
I feel like he couldn't decide what to title this because he just wanted to go on a rant about the price of video games and like do a Jim Sterling bit. But then he called it this. But like why? Like why? What's this got to do with anything? Like we buy games online and you just own something that's in the cloud sometimes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's probably bad. But like, what about the title? What about the title? Ooh, boycott EA. What was the...
There, which brings me to boycott EA. And other developers that have got predatory microtransactions? Absolutely. FC26, FC27.
Absolutely.
Predatory microtransactions? Absolutely. FC26, FC27, FC whatever, those yearly sports games with their gambling mechanics, get in the bin. Peggy thinks that FC26 is suitable for 3-year-olds and older. You clowns. Legislation urgently needs to be brought in by the government to protect children and to stop them being exposed to gambling mechanics.
Okay, here we go. What legislation?
At a young age. Games with these mechanics need to be restricted to adults only.
Well, they are, because children don't normally have bank cards. Don't you find it curious the games companies using communism on the consumer but keeping capitalism for themselves in the transaction? I'm not actually sure what that means, to be honest. How are they using communism on the consumer?
What else? Support the little guy. Games like Stardew Valley are a breath of fresh...
Yes, all you like teenage boys out there, okay? Stop playing FIFA, stop playing like Call of Duty and shit, and play Stardew Valley instead.
Share for the industry. As well as being awesome, this game is extremely ethical. Since its release, there has been no paid-for DLC or expansions. There is no Mega Ultimate Edition or Uber Galaxy Navigating Boss Edition. In fact, the developer Concerned Ape has released a number of updates for free. Concerned Ape?
I think Gary needs to start watching his Skinwalkers. This is concerning, quite frankly.
I salute you. Vote with your wallet. Why score yet another goal in FC26 from a simple cutback when you could be mining for iridium ore instead in the desert mines in Stardew Valley? Anything else you can do? Yeah, don't play free-to-play games like Roblox or Fortnite. The games industry is only awash in microtransactions because they are so profitable.
Yeah, like optional ones. You don't have to pay for it, that's the point.
So stop playing games like this. Spend your time and money on games that are at least a little bit ethical. If you really must continue to play games like Fortnite, and you buy skins and
If you really must play Fortnite.
passes and whatnot, at least try to keep track of how much you are spending. You might realise that you're spending way more money than you would on a premium game, like Return to Monkey Island. Such a good game. So there we
Really showing his age there. That's before my time.
have it. The release of GTA 6 shows that your living standards now are quite a bit worse than they were 20 years ago, at least when it comes to video games. If you're still watching, thank you.
I'd say the N-word. I'm on YouTube and Kick, so I can't, unfortunately. That was special. There's not very many videos on here. He got shadow banned, apparently.
Hi everyone, welcome to what might be the final video for Andrew's Economics. I'm sorry,
Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
not trying to be
I love the Primark Iron Maiden t-shirt as well.
a drama king here, but I
Name 3 songs. Name 3 songs. Actually, he's old. He probably knows 3 songs.
strongly suspect that I've been shadow banned. So the reason I think I've been shadow banned, my last video was about GTA 6 and inequality.
What's this room? There's like a table here. Is it a dining room?
The video I spent quite a lot of time making, probably a bit too much time making, to be honest. I spent ages like putting it together and finding the footage. I think I ended up with 105 clips in the end, like putting it together. It took me maybe about 15 hours to make it. My average kind of time so far is about 10 hours. So yeah, I probably put a bit too much effort into it. And it performed really badly.
Is this an economic channel? It's a apostrophe S economics. That's what kind of channel it is.
It got pushed out to my subscribers, but that was it. I didn't get any impressions to anybody.
I'm not getting much Gary or Barry. The general message I get. He's not like talking about wealth tax. Mostly he's just talking utter nonsense. So maybe in that way he's quite similar, I guess.
That wasn't subscribed. And so because it didn't go out to anybody new,
I actually despise this purple wall, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's horrible.
nobody watched it. And that I think was quite unfortunate and
So this guy, hang on, sorry, I need to think about this. So this guy's being shadow banned. Is he really complaining that at 137 subscribers, having posted 6 videos, that he's getting like 400 views below Is he really complaining that not many people are watching? Bro, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. You have to like keep at it. But then this one got a bunch of views.
Be a little bit unfair as well. So when that happens, when YouTube doesn't put your videos out to anybody at all, that's bad. That probably means that you're shadow banned. It probably means you've done
But
something
why would you make this as like your 4th video?
which you don't realize, and then Google or YouTube decides it's not going to tell you that you're banned. It's just going to gaslight you.
Oh yeah, Neil Gaiman was what did he get up to? Some right weird shit apparently, dodgy.
Into thinking that your content is not
isn't that like unethical capitalism, right?
good, that people don't want to click on what you've made. And I think that's really unfortunate and a bit unfair. So there's 4 possible reasons that I think of why I'm shadow banned. The first one, it's quite unfortunate. So in my description,
I don't think I have animosity towards him. I think he's talking nonsense. I find it quite funny, to be honest. That's the main thing. It's quite funny that someone would make a video about being shadow banned because his first 3 videos on his tiny channel got no views. You know what I mean?
description at the bottom, I want to put references so people can click and see that there's actually evidence for what I'm saying. I'm not just making it up. I'm not just saying stuff for the sake of saying it. It's good academic practice.
Bro, what's he talking about? I guess I didn't watch the very first video.
Up can see that there's actually evidence for what I'm saying. I'm not just making it up. I'm not just saying stuff for the sake of saying it. It's good academic practice.
I'm sorry. My last video was about GTA 6 and falling living standards. I spent a lot of time and effort putting it together. Unfortunately, YouTube did not push my video out to non-subscribers, which has led me to the conclusion my channel's been shadow banned. This has to be a joke, surely.
I have 2 degrees. It's good practice to have references for people to be able to look at. So if you want to put references in the description, if you want to put links, YouTube doesn't like that. So if you try to put the link, a little box pops up saying that you need to verify to be able to post links. So I clicked, I saw what it involved, and then I clicked off and I didn't verify. That then might have suggested to YouTube, okay, this is a scammer. This is somebody that wants to trick people and direct them to a dodgy website. And when they were asked to verify, they wouldn't do it. So shadow ban. I did kind of click back.
Hang on, sorry. I'm just kind of skimming through.
Trying to fix this, I did click back.
His channel is 7 months old. The most recent video, the first video, excuse me, is from like a month ago. Was he posting other stuff that he deleted? Jan 19th. That's not 7 months. What are you talking about? 6 or 7 months. Oh, okay, I'll give him that.
I can try and sort it out. One of the options is for...
There's like delusional. YouTube to examine your behavior, build up your history. Are you a real person?
For YouTube to examine your behavior for 3 months or 6 months or whatever, like build up your history with YouTube to see, are you a real person or not? Are you behaving like an AI or are you behaving like a person? And then you get verified that way. So I clicked that. You know, my channel, it's 6 or 7 months old. It's not a new...
So he thinks because he hasn't done this yet. I've never done this. I don't even know what he's talking about. So because he hasn't done this, he's been shadow banned?
Not. Apparently, it would take another 3 months or however long to verify that I'm a real person. And so until that happens, I'm going to be shadow banned. So another reason, potentially, the second reason, is that I didn't complete the...
Yeah. SD Johnson, maybe you're the one that shadow banned, if anyone. I mean, he was obviously wrong. He was obviously wrong, but like, because like he got like 4.7k views, so it's just all for nothing.
The verification process In the UK, we've got quite strict laws now for the internet to hopefully protect children from accessing dodgy stuff. When I was 14 or 15, when I started using the internet for the first time, I came into contact with some pretty dodgy stuff. Some
Go on.
stuff that was very not safe for work, some stuff that was very
Oh my god, man.
not safe for life, and often it was stuff that I wasn't seeking out. I just kind of happened to stumble on it because I clicked the wrong link or I ended up at the wrong website or something. I think in my video about GTA 6, I used maybe 12 or 14 hashtags. I used quite a few
Pretty sure hashtags don't do fuck all.
hashtags because I thought they were relevant to what I was talking about. There was one for GTA 6 and GTA 5, one about inequality. In a video, I'm kind of contrasting GTA 5 and 6 and showing, okay, like living standards are getting worse.
He didn't do this at all in this video. He just explained why stuff was getting more expensive. Or that stuff was getting more expensive, should I say.
GTA 5, for example, on launch day, you bought the game, you owned the game. GTA 6 on launch day, you
Like, this kind of shit is bad, but like, what's this got to do with the standards of living, you know?
buy the game, you don't own the game, you own a license. And Rockstar Games or Xbox or PlayStation or whatever platform you're on, they can do something then to change that license or revoke that license if they choose. Also, I kind of talked about Fortnite and microtransactions, EA Games and FC26. There were hashtags for each of those things, so I think that's done it. I think that's kind of said, oh, this is someone using too many hashtags.
Yeah,
They're about seeming.
That's why you've definitely been shadow banned, because you use too many hashtags. Wow. Yeah, so he had like 6 subscribers back here. He's gotten a few because of that video that he posted about the documentary, which we're going to get onto.
That might have led to just my video not being pushed out to non-subscribers. So my subscribers saw it. Thank you, everyone. There are 6 of you. Appreciate it. But that's it. It didn't go out. You know, other people watching videos on YouTube in the side.
See, a gay. I mean, I don't like to speculate, but I get some of those vibes.
Bar, it should show videos like mine at the side. That would be an impression. When I look at the analytics, there are no impressions for people that are not subscribed. So here we are. Maybe it's fine. So I'm putting this video out. Maybe this will get pushed out and I'll get impressions for people that are not subscribed. If that's the case.
He's effectively angry that people don't make better choices and don't play Fortnite and don't play FIFA or whatever it's called now. And that they play Stardew Valley instead.
Okay, I'll take down my video about GTA 6 then. Maybe I'll rework it a little bit. New thumbnail, new title, put it back up. Let's see what happens. If this video comes out and it's the same, like there's no impressions to people that are not subscribed.
No, he hasn't deleted anything. This is his 5th video.
It's only... So to kind of lose it so quickly, like this is my 5th
Talking about closing his channel already.
video, although the 4th that
He's been posting for like a month.
You can see there's one more that I'm holding back and I'm not going to post because I put quite a lot of effort into it. So if only my subscribers are going to see it and that's it, it doesn't go out to anybody else, then I don't want to put it out. I'll put it out for a new channel if need be. So I'm a bit...
I mean, to be fair, at the moment it's confusing because I'm expecting more like Gary's economics type shit. Whereas this is just kind of shitty bread tube.
Gutted. Just kind of thinking about my experience on YouTube. It's been really positive. I've learned a lot of new skills. Definitely there are things that I'm better at. And so, for example, like...
Well, you know, we had some fun, but then he carried on posting anyway. We've only got two videos now. Don't worry. This isn't going to take like forever. I'm also not streaming for forever because it's late. So we've got job interviews are dystopian now. Hopefully this will be about job interviews and not just rambling. And then we're going to watch this one, which actually got a bunch of views.
Is it me, or is looking for a new job incredibly bleak now? Looking at the news or social
Yeah, it's bleak for sure.
media, it seems like everyone has a story
Do they sell Red Hot Chili Peppers t-shirts in Primark as well?
about a bad interview experience. Sometimes they're invited to have a first round interview with an AI interviewer because God forbid a company employee spend any time on
No, he is kind of talking about politics, just extremely loosely.
recruitment. Sometimes they're asked to do bizarre group tasks because seeing if someone will crawl around and moo like a cow is a great way to see if a candidate is fun.
Pretty fucked.
And
I
sometimes
was in Bristol. No, that's to see if you'll fit in. If it's in Bristol, that's to see if you'll fit in around there.
will crawl around and moo like a cow is a great way to see if a candidate is fun. And sometimes they're asked to complete arbitrary personality tests because someone who is open to new experiences and an extrovert is key for a job stacking shelves in a supermarket. Being out of work is stressful enough without having an extra layer of nonsense to wade through. Today, I want to talk about how interviewing for jobs is becoming more and more dystopian. Artificial intelligence. It's the future, and it's going to be squeezed into every possible facet of our lives. Whether you're a writer needing help with your goblin romance novel, or an American president trying to portray yourself as Jesus, there's an AI tool out there for you. Oh, hang on, didn't he say it's him as a doctor? Maybe that's how doctors used to dress.
Yeah, this guy does seem like he would actually do it, to be fair. Not Trump, the guy.
Before they invented scrubs. And those demons at the top, those are not demons. Those are dead patients trying to get a refund from the hospital. Healthcare in America is expensive.
Looking up, probably reading a script, I would imagine. I said that weirdly, I don't know why.
Oh, he deleted it? Even the Pope seems to be on board with AI. He says it's like the Industrial Revolution. Maybe in the future we'll get an updated version of the Bible. Can't wait to read Paul's letters to Copilot. Sorry, I've gone off-piste.
This is cringy. Now you're getting it, thank you.
A recent survey has found that nearly half of job seekers in the UK have been interviewed by AI. Candidates have said they felt the experience was awkward and humiliating, with 30% of candidates walking away once they realised that they would be interviewed by an AI. Half of candidates have been invited to interview with an AI. That's a worryingly high percentage. Widespread AI use has not been mainstream for long.
I mean, in a way, if job interviews feel like this arbitrary anyway, maybe you'd kind of prefer it. Just like get it on with. You don't have to go somewhere and like fucking put on a performance to the same extent. I don't know. It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
So it's unnerving how quickly companies are rolling it out. Some of them more successfully than others. In the same article, a candidate talked about discussing his AI interview with a company executive after he got through to the final round, which was a face-to-face interview with an actual human being. The executive admitted that he hadn't watched any of the interviews. Instead, he
I don't think Kitty Cat likes it when I watch like cringy leftists.
put the transcripts into ChatGPT to see what it made of the candidates. Based on this feedback, he made the decision on which applications to progress and which to regret. ChatGPT, as well as other generative AIs, have been known to hallucinate, and there are still massive privacy issues with generative AI. So
Yeah, dude, think about it. AI interviews, you don't have to make eye contact with it. If you do, then it's pointless and fuck it. But if you don't have to make eye contact like at all, then that's kind of based in a way. I'm sorry, I'm warming to this idea, to be honest.
to put potentially sensitive personal information into one, perhaps without the candidate's permission or even their knowledge, is not
Islington, that's the Chad move. You get an AI to interview with the company AI. That's the Chad move, for sure.
cool at all. It's also a very disrespectful way to treat candidates. It's a company saying, oh, we're going to put the minimum time and effort possible into recruitment. We're happy to waste your time, but we couldn't possibly waste any of our own. Of course, lots of big companies in the States have jumped onto the AI interviewer bandwagon. The Code Signal website says that companies including Meta, Google, Zoom, Reddit, Robinhood, Asana use or have used its AI interviewer. Apparently, the AI interviews like you do. Well, whenever I've interviewed candidates, I've always treated them with kindness and respect.
But you've interviewed people? Oh yeah, I forget he's old.
I've always done my best to try to make them feel comfortable. However well they perform in the interview,
So he is doing a bit of the Gary thing where he's doing fine. Like, it doesn't, I'm not getting like, I think he probably just has like awful interior design taste. and he's not like living with his parents or whatever. Like, he's doing fine himself. So he's kind of, in that respect, he is doing a bit of the Gary's economics. Like, oh, you poor young people. Oh, you poor fucking retards that can't hold down a job and shit. It's so hard for you. It's so hard for you. It's like, okay, man.
Try to build a relationship and give positive feedback. I hope that when the interview is over, they walk away with a positive view of the organisation. How many people leave an AI interview with a positive view of a company? They don't respect you enough to spend any of their time meeting and getting to know you. It's not just AI making the...
Bro, favourably, they saved me a shit ton of anxiety, quite frankly.
Interview process miserable. Candidates often find
The HR smile. I see what you mean, yeah.
themselves being asked to do bizarre interview tasks these days. In this Guardian article, a number of young people talked about the bizarre and sometimes demeaning tasks they were asked to do for the chance at a minimum wage job. One person talked about being invited to a 2-hour-long group interview. 2 hours just to be there. She'd already put together an application that needed 10 paragraphs of examples that showcased her work experience. At the interview, as part of a team competing against other teams, she needed to solve anagrams, answer quiz questions, rank the importance of kitchen items before the final challenge, build the...
Yeah, I sort of can imagine this guy being the one at your disciplinary, you know what I mean?
questions, rank the importance of kitchen items before the final challenge, build the best possible tower out of dried spaghetti and marshmallows. As someone who is notoriously bad with their hands, I do not have a deft hand for DIY. If I needed to build a
Not looking at the camera. Yeah, he's reading a script.
tower out of dried spaghetti and marshmallows, I'm going to have a
You
bad
have to put it as near to the camera as you can, I find. That's the best way.
time.
I look weird as fuck on camera, I know that, but like, that's what you gotta do. You gotta try your best.
Not again. Why does this keep happening?
Of course he plays fucking Undertale. I
So-
reckon this guy will transition. I reckon he'll true now. Give it a few years.
So she went through all of that mucking about for about 2 hours to not get a job. The job she interviewed for was at a fast food
Listen, male, kind of weedy, likes Pokemon, likes Undertale, likes Stardew Valley.
place that served mostly chicken, wings, that kind of thing. I better stop. Other young people talked about having to design a dress on an iPad for Lady Gaga. Another was asked to tidy a section of a big department store. So, is this what it's come to for young people? You want to get a minimum wage job and you get messed about with dozens of other people to not get hired? If you don't get chosen, what does that do to your confidence? Especially if you're
So failing a job interview or not being the best candidate is being messed around.
young and you don't have a lot of life experience behind you. How are you supposed to improve? Guess I better practice my spaghetti tower building skills. 20 years ago, when I was looking for an entry-level
See, Amaya, when you say stuff like that, it's like wishful thinking, I reckon.
job, I didn't have to do
Were you a chaser before you transitioned? I just wonder these things.
any of this. My temporary Christmas job in retail, I did need to be part of a role play with a group of people, but all of us were hired. The group interview felt like a box-ticking exercise, just something to check that none of us was a psychopath or an alcoholic. To be fair, the whole job market felt completely different. If you wanted work, you got work. Now it feels like a race to the bottom.
Now, our operation is small, but there's a lot of potential for aggressive expansion. So which of you fine gentlemen would like to join our team? Oh, there's only one spot open right now, so we're gonna have tryouts. Make it fast.
How many years away do you think we are from this? And now we move on to personality
Okay, man.
tests. For a while now, personality tests have been used by large companies. Often candidates that they shortlist will be invited to complete a personality test. If your answers
Dude, you have to fill this dumb shit in for jobs. Like, this has always been a thing, hasn't it?
match whatever arbitrary traits they're looking for, you'll be invited to interview. If they don't, maybe you're too shy, maybe you follow the rules just a little too closely, they won't progress your application.
I'm not responding to Gary Stans. I'm more just intrigued by this one in particular.
I talked to one woman who's a working mother in school, and she was up until 2 in the morning answering hundreds of these questions for a test.
Wow.
I think that's what's so confounding for a lot of people here. Some of these tests can take anywhere from 20 minutes to several hours, asking questions like, I trust data more than my instincts, or I understand why stars twinkle. I mean, what kind of a question is that? How do applicants begin to prepare for an interview like that?
The problem is
Wait, is that a confusing question? What'd she say?
Take anywhere from 20 minutes to several hours, asking questions like, I trust data more than my instincts, or I understand why stars twinkle. I mean, what
The second one was retarded as fuck.
kind of a question is that? How do applicants begin to prepare for an interview like that?
the problem is that
That's a fine question though, right?
they really can't. There's no transparency
Do you go on impulse or do you go on like shit that you've learned?
about what it is exactly that the employers are looking for.
This clip is from a CBS show that aired 11 years ago. Can you imagine wasting hours and hours of your time answering questions like,
The stars twinkle one. What if that was for like fucking NASA or something? I don't know.
I understand why stars twinkle? Personality tests have become even more widespread since then. Then there are personality questions that are related to specific scenarios you might find yourself in at work. I personally find these questions infuriating. You notice a customer waiting, but a fire is broken out. Do you A, serve the customer, B, pull the fire alarm, C, try to put out the fire, D, call for help? I don't know. All of them? How did I notice the fire? Call for help.
You notice a customer waiting but a fire is broken out. Do you serve the... He just said, I don't know all of them. Like, no, you probably don't serve the customer.
B, pull the fire alarm. C, try to put out the fire. D, call for help. I don't know. All of them? How did I notice the fire? Did I start the fire by
I
mistake?
don't think it should be all of them, man.
Has my older colleague John had enough and tried to burn the place down? How far away is the fire alarm? Who is the customer? Is it an old lady? Is it Boris Johnson? Am I able to shove him into the fire? Not enough information provided. Instructions unclear. Oh, you don't want to progress my application any further? What did I say? Seriously, this kind of question is pointless. Most organisations now will make you take fire safety training specific to your role every year. So unless they've shared their fire safety information with you before the interview, are you supposed to guess what the organisation's policy is? Depending on the exact circumstances, you could make a case that any of the answers is correct. And that's why I hate being asked this kind of question. Unless you're actually in the scenario, it's very hard to know what kind of answer the company is looking for. This article, in The Big Issue, says that personality tests unfairly block autistic people from jobs with big companies. Both Morrison's and John Lewis are called out. I completely agree. Anyway, there isn't supposed to be one correct personality. In fact, don't the best teams have a mix of different personalities? Imagine a whole office full of massive extroverts. It'd be mayhem. I love The Big Issue, by the way. If you want 100% of the money you give to help someone, buy The Big Issue.
Is he sponsored?
Also, isn't it nice to read something on paper for once? A further complication is that mainstream personality tests often don't have a lot of efficacy.
Personality tests are stupid, obviously. I don't know why you'd care about it. You just fucking do it and get on with it. Where does he... What else do we talk about here? What else do we talk about here?
Hell yeah. So for many, that's the state of interviewing for a job in 2026. Dystopian, disrespectful.
It just kind of sounds like the same as it was in like 2016, to be quite honest.
Dehumanizing. What do we do? If you have a job, you apply for another, and it's got an AI interview, feel free to walk away. 30% of candidates already do. You can afford to pass this opportunity up.
Yeah, the answer is don't take job opportunities.
If you don't have a job, though, unfortunately, you don't have that luxury.
Bro, I'm doing the fucking AI interview. Fuck that. That's a good idea. I'll take that job. Fuck it.
You have bills to pay. You need to eat. You need to stop draining your savings and get back to putting money away from the future. In his book, Enshittification, Cory Doctorow talks
Okay. I thought it was a Jim Sterling term.
about technologies being used first on the poorest and most vulnerable in society. He calls this the shitty technology adoption curve. This is that curve in action. Fight back with AI. You can try to level the playing field somewhat. Okay, you're going to give me an AI interview? Well, I'm going to prepare by using ChatGPT to create some good examples. A couple of tweaks here and there, and I can read them back to the AI interviewer, no problem. Oh, you want 10 supporting statements from me? Again, AI. I'll probably need to rewrite them
It's fair enough. Do that, yeah.
a bit, but at least I can save myself some time. Keep yourself informed. If you find out a company is conducting AI interviews, don't be that customer. Well, if that's realistic.
Okay, he was based for a second and then he lost it again. Netflix. What does hold the line mean?
What else can you do? Hold the line. AI is an incredibly expensive technology which is not generating much of a financial return for anyone. When companies see that it isn't paying off, they will give up trying to make AI work for their business. Maybe the Pope is wrong. Maybe this isn't the Industrial Revolution all over again. Maybe this is just another
Dude, it's just gonna keep like developing.
passing trend, like big data. Hold the line. This too shall pass. If you're still watching, thank you. If you like this video, I'll think you like my next video on your screen now, because
You shouldn't want to use like AI art for thumbnails and shit like that. Because it sucks and it's terrible and it looks like shit. But it is just gonna keep developing. Like acting like, oh, it'll pass, no one will be using it. Well no, it'll be something else in like fucking 10 years, you know. I don't know, man. He had one more video, which is the one that I'm actually interested in, I guess. So he did a video, I watched the Gary's Economics documentary, and the thumbnail is, it's trash. This has got nothing to do with my video, by the way. He won't have seen it, I presume. But I agree with the thumbnail. I think it was trash. I watched it on stream on Kick. You can go on kick.com. I think it's kick.com/themeritu and watch that in your own time if you want. I couldn't do it on YouTube because it's channel 4. But this guy had a different perspective, I guess, to me. So this is where I guess he gets into the kind of Gary glazing. He's been building up to it, you know.
kind of very neutral. Hi everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Economics. Today I want to talk about a new documentary that's been released by Channel 4, and it features Gary Stevenson. You might know him on YouTube as Gary's Economics. So this documentary is called How to Get Filthy Rich with Gary Stevenson.
So in case you don't understand, Gary's Economics, Andrew's Economics.
The documentary aims to explore the scale of inequality in the UK and
Gary's Economics are demonstrably homosexual. True.
shows how it's getting worse over time. It's also a vehicle that Gary uses to explain his idea for a new wealth tax. And then Gary meets a range of different people to discuss how they feel about the tax. A lot of the people that he meets are extremely wealthy people. So you can imagine how overjoyed they are to hear that they would need to pay a new tax. This documentary is Gary playing to his strengths. He's very passionate about inequality. He knows a lot about it. You would expect then that this would be a fantastic...
I did not get the impression he knew all that much about it. In fact, one of the people he talks to, who's like a tax expert, literally told him, you haven't actually thought about any of this, I can tell.
Fantastic documentary. Let's check the reviews, shall we? How to Get Filthy Rich with Gary Stevenson review. How did this end up such an embarrassment? 2 stars. The Guardian.
Base. 2 stars is generous. Fucking hell, man.
Gary Stevenson's lively documentary fails to persuade. His honed YouTube style is hard to take. FT.com. Gary Stevenson proves he's a
True.
self-styled economist who's out of his depth. 2 stars. Tory graph. The Telegraph.
Yeah, I more or less agree. Again, 2 stars is pretty generous.
Ah, this nonsense again. He has a postgraduate degree in economics, but sure, he's self-styled. Sixth form level
Well, no, he is. He was a trader and now he's a YouTuber and like a campaigner and shit. Arguably, he is not an economist. That's the problem.
of debate. Let's down this call to level the playing field. Lancashire Post. Gosh, I bet they're supposed
Sixth form level of debate. This is true. He is shocking. And the worst thing is, some of the people, it'd be nice to see him get some owns in on some of them. Like that Samuel Leeds guy. He's a piece of shit. But like he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. And he can't roll with the punches. He can't like banter and stuff.
to be a big advert there.
Anyway, I did a review of the documentary, so I don't know. You can get my thoughts on it there, I guess.
I've ad blocked that nonsense out. Gary Stevenson is wrong about wealth taxes. The Popular Economist is irritating. The Critic. At least
He is irritating.
this person recognises that he is in fact an economist. Gary Stevenson gets his, spiked
I don't think he in fact is one, but okay.
online. I'm sure you get the idea. So the documentary has been widely panned by critics. So does that mean it's rubbish? I don't think so. I think the documentary is decent. So it's
I thought it was fucking terrible.
interesting that criticism is pretty much consistent in the media. Honestly, I think this reaction from the media is what you would expect to see. Unfortunately, the health of the UK media,
Has he actually read any of these articles? He just shows like the headlines.
a lot of it is owned by billionaires, and so you're seeing billionaires.
Isn't The Guardian kind of pushing towards a more left-leaning like audience? And there was like this Richard J. Murphy guy who's like, he's into that MMT stuff, which I'm really not very into either. Hang on. Oh, this is 2025. He was like shitting on him like back then. But he was really scathing about the documentary as well. But it's like, is this guy a billionaire? Is this guy funded to slag these people off? It's just like, oh well, there's some ulterior motive and we can just ignore any criticism. It's really annoying. Also, Cliff Stevenson economics. Jesus.
After my last
Jesus fucking Christ. So this guy claims to be a professional economist. That's at least something. So this seems to be more legit, to be fair. Hasn't posted in a while. Yeah, he seems kind of similar. Not convinced on MMT. This guy seems a bit more real. He's not a skinwalker.
Reaction to having to pay more money. There again,
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like, oh, the media's all funded by billionaires, so they're going to be against it. That doesn't like address anything. You just get to hand wave a whole bunch of criticism. But I thought it was terrible. I'm not funded by billionaires. I fucking wish I was. I don't think that Richard J. Murphy guy is funded by billionaires.
against it. Overall, I think the documentary is decent. I think Gary is successful with his aim of explaining the wealth tax. I think he does it in a way that's very accessible and very easy to understand. You know,
It was like rudimentary.
if you're the lady behind the counter in Greggs, or you're the guy that cuts the hair at the barber's, or you're the lady that drives the bus into town, I think you would be able to understand the wealth tax very clearly.
Yeah, it was dumbed down to fuck, is what he's saying. It was aimed at stupid people and kids.
So how does Gary's wealth tax work? Well, it works like this. It's a tax of 2% on wealth above £10 million. So someone with £11 million in wealth, you're going to pay £20,000 a year in tax. To me, that sounds very reasonable. I think it's important to think about the
Of course it does.
context of how much money that wealthy people are able to make on their investment.
But rich people have loads of money. They have loads of money. You don't understand. Rich people have loads of money.
So at the beginning of the documentary, Gary meets an extremely wealthy guy in London, and he brags that, you know, if an investment doesn't return 12, 13, 14%, it's not worth his time.
He
He
says that. I don't know if he brags about it.
doesn't get out of bed for less than 12%.
He also said that, like, the reason he makes a lot of money is because he invests smartly. So I guess that ties into that.
So if someone has to pay 2%, you know, that feels very reasonable. I think some of the criticism of it is
It also sounds like nothing.
quite interesting. So there's a lot of personal criticism of Gary. I think people are not happy to hear his voice. It's a
If he's the presenter, then they're going to criticize how he comes across. He came across poorly. Sorry about it.
working class voice, and I think frankly
Working class. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. These people are so dumb. They're so gullible.
people are not happy to hear his voice. It's a working class voice.
He ain't fucking working class, dude. He might have grown up that way, possibly. His parents don't sound working class. I don't know. But, like, you're so dumb if you believe this shit.
And I think, frankly, for some people in the media, this is very uncomfortable. You're not used to listening to...
Yeah, taxing like wealth, taxing assets, that kind of thing. So like costing everything up, you know, hoping that they don't mess a bunch of stuff around and, you know, fix it so they pay as little as possible or just fuck off entirely. It's not... I don't really care if they do it or not. If they do it, then fine, whatever. But it gets so much hype as an idea that's going to like close the gap and like reduce inequality. It really is not going to do fuck all, to be quite honest, I don't think.
A working class person talk about economics. Actually, you know, Gary has authority. He has 2 degrees.
Yeah, just assuming that everyone criticizing is like, oh, being a snob because he's like, oh yeah, it's like Gary Stevenson in it, you know.
In economics. So when he talks about inequality, when he talks about living standards getting worse, I mean, he does have authority to say that.
Appeal to authority. At least he's honest.
Newsflash, working class people can be educated, they can go to university, they can...
No one's saying otherwise.
And speak with authority on a topic. Another criticism of Gary, I think...
Everyone criticizing Gary is Jacob Rees-Mogg to this guy, I guess.
Very interesting, and that Gary is very emotional sometimes when he speaks to people. And you know...
Dude, he like sheds a tear when this doctor is reading off this like statistic of some kind. It's so fucking cringe. It's like performative as fuck, I'm sorry.
I think I'd be emotional too in that situation. He talks to people that
like,
will...
Everything about Gary is like so performative. He does all like the tea and biscuits and shit on the table, not even touching them. It's like so fucking gay.
Say to his face, you're speaking Noddyland economics, when he has 2 degrees in economics and they have none. I think...
Yeah, so a person with a degree in something can never be wrong about it, I guess.
Too, it's the strength of the documentary, and it's the strength of Gary that when he's meeting people and are saying very problematic things, he's not afraid to push back and visibly...
Saying problematic thing, like what?
He gets upset. I mean, he's a human being. Isn't it good that someone's passionate about something? I think a big strength of the documentary is that he talks to a range of people with a range of different opinions. And I think that's important to any documentary. If you just listen to someone that's always got the same perspective as everybody else, that's basically propaganda, isn't it? You should be exposed to opinions that are different to your own. It's a mainstream documentary on Channel...
I'm not sure about that one, but okay.
Channel 4. It's not a visit to Twitter. So to talk about...
Not to listen to people that don't agree with you, that if you just listen to a certain perspective, it's propaganda. It really depends on what you're listening to.
Some of the people that Gary meets. One of the first people he talks to, he's a guy that's from a Lebanese background. He lived in Nigeria. He made his millions there in telecommunications. Now he lives in London. He's got a property. Apparently he paid £42 million for it. He won't admit whether he's a billionaire or not. I suspect that he is.
Dude, Gary gets so pissy when like Piers Morgan now asks how much he's worth. And he's doing it to that other guy, and it doesn't even matter. Like they show them going up to this insane like flat, and then like, you know, he spends most of the time just asking, yeah, but how rich are you? Like, we know he's rich. You just told us whilst walking up to his flat. He is very rich. So why are we just hammering home how rich he is?
But he owns 10 properties in the country. This
guy is literally in love with Gary.
When the wealth tax is explained to him, he essentially...
Cult of Gary Chew. Yeah, exactly. You're getting it.
Throws his toys out of the pram. He says, no, like, I will leave the UK just on...
He didn't throw his toys out the pram. Fucking hell, man.
The principle of having to pay this wealth tax. I mean, if this kind of guy wants to leave the UK, honestly, good riddance.
They always say this. Like, it's not happening with, you know, the wealth exodus thing. If you have a wealth tax, then rich people will fuck off. To these people, it's not happening, and if it is, it's a good thing, actually. Like, what's the point in a wealth tax that drives off the wealthy? Then what are you taxing? Like, you've kind of shrunk inequality, I guess. But it's the ones with a lot of money have all just fucked off. That doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't know, man.
Get lost. You contribute nothing. You come to...
He literally explains, like, how he makes his money and stuff. He'll pay a lot in, like, fucking capital gains tax and shit like that on all the stocks and shit.
to the UK, you buy our assets, you contribute nothing to society. You are a net negative on society. So if you want to leave, be my guest, but your assets are here and we should tax those assets. Another guy that Gary meets
Wow, so he fucks off with everything and you maybe get a few grand out of him. Amazing.
in the documentary is this very toxic influencer on social media, and he says very problematic things, and there is a whiff of grift about what he does. I feel very conflicted about the presence of someone like this on the TV show.
Samuel Leeds. Yeah, Samuel Leeds mocked him, and that sucks because Samuel Leeds is a fucking loser.
Because this is a mainstream documentary on Channel 4. I really don't like the idea that this guy is going to have his voice amplified even more, and even more people will know about him. But actually, this guy
He's like soy as fuck.
is already mainstream. People know who he is. He's here on YouTube. He has over 1 million subscribers. He's all over social media. Another guy that he's been interviewed with, he was the most searched for man on the internet in 1 year. So these guys
Why isn't he saying names? You're talking about like Samuel Leeds and Andrew Tate.
are mainstream. These really
I mean, obviously brings up Andrew Tate to be like, see, it's the bad guys that don't like me.
problematic people now are mainstream, and I think that says a lot about the society that we're in right now. So of course this toxic influencer, he's against the wealth tax, and I really like that Gary confronts this guy. So this guy apparently is very successful making property investments. He sells a course online for £12,000, and it makes me think, if you're so successful, you know, if you're so good at making property deals, why do you need to sell courses for £12,000? In the documentary, we see a recording of one of the webinars that he's holding.
Amazing point there.
And he's saying to people, look, if you've got family or friends and they don't support you, don't tell them. Or he says, look, it's £12,000 to buy my course, but if you can't afford that, don't worry, just borrow the money, because you're going to be so rich and so successful afterwards, you'll easily be able to pay it back. And I really like that Gary tried to push back. Other documentaries I've seen
He didn't do much though.
recently,
Like Samuel Leeds gives him like the pitch that kind of, oh well, you know, all the comments I get are really good. Like if someone's unhappy, we refund them. He just like leaves it there. And then Samuel Leeds records like a YouTube short, like mogging him. And Gary's like super like grumpy and like acting miserable. Just looks really stupid.
With Gary, I'm really glad that he's registered for my course now.
Yeah, so that guy is Samuel Leeds. He is a piece of shit, to be honest.
You did it yesterday?
I haven't registered for any of your courses.
No, you said you did it yesterday, right?
I checked out one of your webinars where you have
and investing in property successfully.
Watch out for this guy.
Successful. Gary Economics.
So pious, right? Anyway.
Louis Theroux and the Manosphere, they don't push back at all. They're just kind of very neutral. It's good to see that someone actually cares and is willing to actually confront people when they're saying really problematic things. These people need calling out. Another guy that Gary speaks to, probably the most frustrating guy of all, he is an aristocrat. He is the 19th generation of his family to inherit the land and the manor house or the castle or whatever you call his
property. He's a spiv, yeah. Have you ever heard his music? I've never really made fun of Samuel Leeds, but he is a fucking lolcow in his own right. You ever heard his music? It's fucking great. Hang on. He makes like Christian rock music, or he used to, like years and years ago.
Angels protecting me. Angels protecting me. Angels protecting me. La la la. Angels protecting me. Angels protecting me. Angels protecting me. These angels. La la la. Angels protecting me. Angels protecting me. Angels protecting me. These angels. La la la.
Dude, this is not AI. This is from 13 years ago. This is from 2012.
I am pastures green. He's purified my heart. to make me clean, leads me by the waters so still. I commit my life into your will. I love you till the end. I must know you.
We get the message. We get the message. Samuel Leeds is a fucking loser, and he made Gary's Economics look stupid, and I was actually disappointed.
Property, and he gets most of his wealth from that. There are 24 homes that he rents out. He owns farmlands, he owns farms, he rents that out. He's extremely wealthy. So of course he's against a wealth tax. In his opinion, very wealthy people like him are needed.
Everyone's just biased. Everyone against it is just biased because they're rich or they're owned by billionaires.
In society because something trickle down economics. I mean, mate, 19 generations of your
mate.
Something trickle down economics.
Does anyone even say? I don't remember him saying trickle down economics. I remember him saying that like he lets out his farmland for younger farmers to like rent it and make money, like doing their own like farming or whatever. It's not quite the same as like trickle down economics. It's just kind of how shit works.
I mean, mate, 19 generations of your family has owned the land and the manor house that you live in. If trickle-down economics is a thing, why is inequality so bad still? Why are things getting worse?
Asking the real questions. Yeah, but inequality though.
And then, most frustrating...
He's learned from the best. He's learned from the best. This is literally the documentary. It's just, yeah, but there's like inequality in that, mate. Yeah, Gary's Economics. It's like, there's like this inequality in that, mate. You gotta do something about the inequality. That's literally all there is.
Of all, he repeats a trope that you often hear from boomers. This trope is, you know, young people these days, they just need to do what you did, Gary. They just need to work hard and they'll be rich. Mate, it's nonsense. If working hard...
I don't remember him saying quite that either, but sure.
...is how you get rich, why are the richest people in society not the people sitting on the checkout in Aldi? The lady working in Greggs, but who...
Because why the fuck would you sit at the checkout in Aldi if you were rich? You just wouldn't.
Between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. hasn't got a single second to stop. Why is she not the richest person in society? It's such an idiotic stance. Another person that Gary talks to, and for me, this is kind of the saddest part of the documentary, he speaks to a guy in Bristol, and this guy...
I can think of exactly one kind of rich person that would sit at the checkout at Aldi, and it's someone who already worked there, like really loves his job or whatever, and then like won the fucking lottery or something.
Lives in a van. He's living in a van because he and his girlfriend could no longer afford the rent on the flat that they're living. So in Bristol,
yeah, we get no information about like the details of this.
According to the documentary, the average rent now is nearing £2,000 a month, which is mental. For me, living in the Midlands, nearing on the flat that they're in. He's living in a van because he and his girlfriend could no longer afford the rent on the flat that they're living. So in Bristol, according to the documentary, the average rent now is nearing £2,000 a month.
Dude, this was cited in the documentary. The average for what? For a house? For a flat? For a bedsit? For like a room in a shared house? What's it the average for?
Which is mental.
If it's a 4-bedroom house and the people are renting like individually, that's like $500 a month. That isn't very much at all.
For me, living in the Midlands, £2,000 a month on rent is crazy. So because they've effectively been forced out of their flat, they now live in a van. And a guy like opens this van,
assuming all of this shit
up, and Gary goes inside. And to give the guy credit, I mean, the van looks pretty impressive. It looks quite a comfortable place to be. You know, it's been decorated really well. There are bookshelves and things. It seems quite cozy. It'd probably be quite a nice place to chill for a couple of hours. And actually,
well, I can buy that there is an average rent in Bristol that is nearing £2,000. But what kind of properties are we talking about? Does that include like bed sits and shit? Does that include like just rooms, you know?
On YouTube, if you do a search for van life, some of the vans that people live in are just absolutely spectacular. And when you consider that a lot of them have made them themselves with their own hands, I mean, respect, because I am useless when it comes to DIY. So for somebody to be able to make
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
something that impressive and to live in it, that must be extremely satisfying.
Hence the looks like a cow axe. Could be wrong.
Unfortunately though, when you stop and you think about it for a few minutes, actually you realise life living in a van must be incredibly bleak. So in the UK right now, we're on to our 3rd heat wave of the year. I can't imagine what it must be like trying to sleep in that van at night. It must be like trying to sleep inside a furnace. Also, I think our winters can be quite brutal, at least by my standards. You know, when it gets below freezing, that's got to be so bad. You finish work, you've had a hard day, it's dark.
Rent is a joke. Listen, I haven't rented in years. When I used to, I was in like a tiny flat for like 500 quid a month. And it was like less than that before that. So I got off pretty well, I guess.
You get home, you get inside your van.
The thing is, like, people like this that are like lefty kind of, they talk about economics or whatever, or claim to. They tend to like blame like rent for shit when it's part of like, it's one of the symptoms, you know, of greater shit, you know.
Absolutely freezing. I mean,
yeah, the south is way worse. Like anything anywhere near London is getting a bit ridiculous. The north, like if you're near the cities, it's expensive. If you're in the more kind of rural, like northeast or whatever, it's cheap as fuck, but you're also living in a shithole probably. So it kind of swings and roundabouts.
Best of luck getting any sleep, and then if you do, you get up to do it all over again the next day. The van that this guy was living in as well hasn't got a toilet, it hasn't got an area for food preparation, you can't cook, there's no shower, there's no sink, there's no running water or anything. Actually living in those conditions must be incredibly hard. I mean, it's almost Victorian levels of poverty. Even though that's that guy's situation, you know, fair play, he's doing his best, he's trying to be positive and he's trying to get on with it. Of course, there's always going to be someone middle class that's not happy, and we meet this guy. We meet a NIMBY, or not in my backyard kind of guy.
Dude, the guy that was complaining that people were like emptying their shit buckets onto like a park or something, they seemed fine to me. I get it.
For him, people living in a van is an eyesore. He wants them gone because he wants to enjoy the view from his house.
He can't even remember the fucking reasons that he said. He can't even remember the fucking documentary. He was talking about them like emptying shit buckets and stuff.
He complains that these people often poo in bushes. For me...
Bro, is that not reasonable? Is it not reasonable to not want people shitting in the bushes where you live?
This guy, this NIMBY, he's got a very stereotypical conservative voter look to him. I remember...
that sounds racist, but okay.
David Cameron, when he was Prime Minister, talking about the big society and empowering local people to be able to solve...
I don't know about anyone else. I don't want anyone shitting in the bushes where I live.
Local problems themselves. The problem here is massive inequality and rents increasing so fast that people have to live in vans. For this guy though, the problem is his view is being spoiled. Won't someone think about the view for his nice house that he's just bought? And then a final quick mention to another guy that Gary talks to. This guy is very hostile.
This is the kind of inverse. You've got the people that are way too obsessed with like the migrants in the hotels and shit like that, and then this guy is like the polar opposite, like insane for the other reason, you know.
Quick mention to another guy that Gary talks to. This guy is very hostile. He makes a living advising extremely wealthy people how to avoid paying tax. So for him, he kind of repeats over and over again, a wealth tax in the UK, it's a non-starter, it's a non-starter, it's a non-starter. Okay, mate, if it's a non-starter, how come wealth taxes are already here?
These people are like overestimating how much rich people will just avoid the fuck out of it. That was why it was like the Wealth Tax Commission or something. It was talking about the most viable way being like a one-off tax. If you make it annual, surely people are just going to get better and better at avoiding it and finding ways to not pay it. And you kind of, it feels like you talk to these kinds of people, it's like well, just make it so there's no loopholes then. It's like, well, these people pay other people an awful lot to manage their money and shit like that. They're not fucking around, you know?
Yeah, but in Spain, in Switzerland, in Norway, so it's not.
Which also, Norway doesn't have inheritance tax. So that Francis Fulford guy would have been way more well off. And Switzerland doesn't have capital gains tax. So, like, they're just not taxing the wealthy in other ways in those countries.
Not a non-starter.
And the one in Norway doesn't do shit. It, like, raises barely anything. And, like, not that many people left, but a bunch of them did.
Is it? It's just, you want to put your fingers in your ears and pretend that it's not happening. So overall, I think it's a good watch, and I'd encourage anybody watching this to have a look.
He doesn't... Oh my god, he skips the bit with that Dan Needle guy as well. That Dan Needle guy tore him to fucking shreds. Like, actually wrecked him.
And make up your own mind. Don't just believe the billionaire-owned media that say that it's rubbish. Don't listen to middle-class reporters that are afraid of hearing a working-class person's voice. Channel 4 have uploaded it to its
Gotta love the id poll. I was worried the right were doing too much id polls, so this guy saved us.
Documentary YouTube channel, so you can watch it for free if you'd like. You can watch it if you're outside the UK as well. In the UK, we're getting a new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham. Is he going to introduce this wealth tax? Well, I mean, my expectations are pretty low. If I pick up and ask a Magic 8 Ball, I expect the answer I'm going to get is, don't count on it.
Green Party voter. Probably loves Polanski. I look forward to a future video on that.
Blimey, I've said a lot today. I'll leave it there. Take care, everyone.
Well, listen, he seems nice enough, you know. Someone was accusing me of animosity. I don't hate this guy. I think he's a moron. I don't hate him. I'm amazed that he did a shadow ban video. It was his, like, 4th video. But hey, I actually am not gonna stick around too much longer. What's Barry's economics doing? Let's just quickly see what this fucking guy's doing. Oh, he's talking to Gary. He had Gary over. He fucking had Gary. Look at this fucking shirt. Look at his fucking shirt. I hate this guy so much. He pisses me off, okay? Look at this. Why do you need to sit there with one of your sleeves rolled up? Why do you need to do that? It's so annoying. He's so fucking annoying. I can't handle it. There was something about... Yeah, the debate is a trap. We'll just look at this and then I'll stop, because it's late. It's muted. Yeah, so this is Barry's economics. So this is, rather than like 2 levels of skinwalking, this is just 1 level of skinwalking. That makes sense. And this guy is like just a... I don't know that he has a background in like anything to do with economics.
Hello. So I'm going to do something different.
Not that I do either, but they all put shit on the internet that's free to watch. And I don't care.
Different this week and take one thing and talk about it as concisely as possible. And it is the perfect wealth tax. Because there is a perfect wealth tax. A perfect one. And it's getting missed by everyone. And before I reveal this perfect wealth tax, that's right, just call me Johnny Cliffhanger. It's coming. Calm down. But first, I have to separate the ideas of should there be a wealth tax
So insufferable, man.
from what is the perfect wealth tax. So we have an inequality problem, and that's agreed by everyone now. While for a long time, actually, it was misdiagnosed. For decades, we've been told that the problem with an economy was lack of growth. So we chased growth, right? And then we were told the problem was with productivity, so we chased productivity. For decades, productivity did grow, capital did grow, but the gains from that growth didn't circulate. They pooled. They pooled into assets, they pooled into housing, they pooled into shares, into capital ownership. And economists like Thomas Piketty show that returns to capital have grown much faster than the rest of the economy. And these aren't fringe views at all. Even the main monetary institutions of the world, like the OECD and the IMF, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the OGs of monetary institutions, they all agree, which is awkward, isn't it? Because when your argument for 40 years has been, no, listen, that wealth is just going to trickle down. I know it's been 40 years, but it's only 40 years. In the lifetime of...
He must be addressing, like, hardcore, like, right-leaning Tories with this. I don't hear anyone, like, talking about fucking trickle-down economics anymore.
The planet, that's barely nothing. So just wait, hold. I know you're hungry right now, but your children, if they survive, they'll get some of the money trickling down to them. So that's nice, isn't it? And if the actual monetary rainmakers of the IMF are saying it, if they are saying, yeah, actually, trickle-down economics doesn't work, turns out really awkward. It turns out that what it is actually, it's not so much trickle-down as a swimming pool of economics. You know, where they say there's a massive swimming pool where all the water is in Kensington, and the swimming pool has a very exclusive membership policy that doesn't let you in. But as people leave, dripping with water from their very nice swim, you could maybe take some of those drops and lick their feet, if you like, to quench your thirst. And no, I'm really sorry you can't have any of that water. In fact, if you do try and take any of that water, we're going to leave and take our swimming pool.
This is actually abhorrent.
To another country, and that wouldn't be very good, would it? Because then you
imagine this guy down the pub, like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Die of thirst. So, you know, you either leave us with the swimming pool or you die of thirst. What do you prefer? So you can lick our shoes with the wet shoes, or you can die of thirst. No, your choice. Totally your choice. I'm just saying that's the way things are.
Far too many people across all types of economies are seeing their aspirations limited by the impact of technologies and the repercussions of excessive income inequality.
The great status quo of globalization and neoliberal policies and international activity in the direction of big business is being threatened by this high inequality.
Because it's agreed that the biggest problem in modern economics isn't productivity, it's not laziness, it's too much capital, too much wealth pooling in the wrong places. And that's agreed now by everyone. Wow, everyone's agreed that. Oh, sorry.
That's agreed now by everyone.
One apart from, say, organisations funded by the rich, like Henley and Partners, who publish an annual report warning governments that millionaires are fleeing the country. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because Henley and Partners, who are, and I want to be really clear about this, a company that sells visas to millionaires who want to flee the country. That's what they do. That's their business model. Their research is produced by a firm with apparently...
Yeah, probably their particular criticism is biased.
Does
that mean every single criticism is biased? It's all very well just bringing out like the most egregious examples and stuff. Well, it's like, well, find stuff that isn't these people, you know?
Employee. And their methodology has been described as fabricated. And the numbers contradict official data. Yet their statistics get quoted in Parliament, the Financial Times, the Telegraph, and they're presented as neutral economic analysis, rather than what they actually are, which is a brochure, a very expensive brochure designed to make governments so frightened of losing rich people that they'll create more golden visa schemes, which, coincidentally, Henley and Partners will then sell to the rich people. It is genuinely one of the most elegant conflicts of interest in modern public life. So I'm going to say it again. We're all agreed. The IMF, the OECD, stats. Great. Well, we're all agreed what we need to do about the wealth pooling, about the asset bubble. We need...
A lot of businesses are owned by people that live abroad. I have no problem believing that.
Some kind of redistributive tax to fix our economy. Great. We're agreed. That's incredible, isn't it? We're all agreed. Fantastic. And this is the moment where everyone goes, well, yes, we are agreed, but what type of wealth tax? Because there are many different types of wealth tax, you see. There's a land tax, there's an inheritance tax, and this is where we get stuck, because the exact detail is scary. But what if we make a mistake?
Bear in mind, we already tax wealth in various forms.
If it's 2.5 rather than 2.7, then that might mean all of the millionaires leave. oh, sorry, those stats aren't real, are they? Sorry, but it's very stressful, actually. We need proper
Why do I think this guy has probably never actually had a conversation with someone they disagree with on this? It's like the most straw man shit fucking ever.
detail. Yes, you absolutely need proper detail, but to get bogged down in the exact detail this early in the process misses the fundamental way that the human brain, the human process works, because we don't, as a species, know exactly what we're going to do before we end up doing it. We just start running and we correct as we go. And the best example of that is running or catching a ball.
Just implement attacks now and then just worry about the details later. So if something catastrophic does happen or it ends up having negative effects, I don't know, just U-turn on it, just fuck around with it. Like, it just seems a bit retarded. Doesn't it take a lot of time to implement taxes and shit like that? Don't you need to get it down and then invest in all the infrastructure and get the systems in play to actually collect the tax? It kind of seems like he's starting. He wants to start like 5+ years before it's going to be making anything because of all the work required, you know?
Because if somebody throws you a ball, you start running, you don't sit down and go, right, wind speed, right, what's the coefficient of the spin? No, you run. And crucially, this is so key and you don't realize it, but when people run for a ball, you don't run in a straight line. You keep your eye on the ball, and if you look from above at the way people run, you run in a zigzag. Because humans don't run to catch a ball. They don't move in a straight line when they run to catch a ball. They zigzag. They
large initial error, like fucking hell. Just kind of saying, oh, we'll make a fucking hash of it at first, and then hopefully at some point in the future we'll get it right. Like, wow, you're not really selling it, you know?
Self-correct in real time. They just correct as new information comes in. And that's
just, oh, well, they'll just figure it out. They'll just do it and it'll work and it'll be fine because zigzag. This is absolute shite. There's like fucking drivel and people fucking eat this shit up. It's terrible. It's terrifying.
That's how all human systems work. Income tax wasn't perfect on day one. I mean, it's still not in a lot of ways, but we constantly tweak it. Neither was any serious reform. They weren't designed into perfection. They were chased into shape. The real danger here is not getting a wealth tax wrong. The real danger is never agreeing that that's the direction we need to start moving in.
But why do we need to move in that direction? That's the problem. Why do we need to? It's just the wealth tax debate is a trap. Well, you haven't really brought any substantial, like, rebuttals, except for from someone whose job it is to help people believe, you know?
Because while we argue about the arc, the capital keeps compounding. Assets keep inflating. Inequality keeps widening. So what's happening is that uncertainty is being used as an excuse for paralysis. And you can see this really clearly in the traitors video I made.
This is really not true. There's just a lot of disagreements with how it should work and whether it'll be effective and all kinds of shit.
How the powerful just need to remain silent to benefit from it. Like, watch what happens the moment somebody says...
Sources his own videos? Ugh. Oh, Zach Polanski as well.
Maybe extreme wealth should be redistributed. The conversation doesn't move forward. It collapses inward.
Even left-wing economists say it doesn't work, but it'll make everyone poorer, okay? Because of behavioural change, people leaving, loss of incentive, the cost of implementing it, it'll make...
I don't know about making people poorer, but it might negatively affect the economy.
People poorer. Even left-wing economists say that.
Well, what about the unintended consequences? What if it scares investors?
Did you look into this claim at all? Did he verify any of it?
And what if the rich just leave? And notice something important about that. None of those questions challenge power. They challenge each other. Because when people without power argue amongst themselves, people with power, they don't need to defend their position.
When your enemies are making a mistake, don't interrupt them.
They can just sit back silently and wait and let the faithful fight among
Teeth are distracting. Listen.
themselves.
By virtue of what I've done with my channel, I've seen far stranger looking than this.
And this is where Traitors stops being a television show, right, and becomes an economic model.
Okay, wow, TV shows. This is like so fucking cringe, man. And this clip of him from the past goes on for like...
But the Traitors also show something else.
Rupert Lowe. I don't like Rupert Lowe. I don't like populists like this. I don't like populists like Rupert Lowe. That ain't gonna do fuck all. That's gonna fuck the economy worse than this shitty fucking wealth tax, quite frankly.
Shows what actually threatens power.
Also, I'm pretty sure Rupert Lowe is like pro-Israel, so...
Because when enough people see and say the same thing at the same time, when they agree on a direction, silence stops working as a strategy. And information asymmetry, it doesn't disappear overnight, but its advantage collapses the moment that people act together, because silence only works when people are divided. And that's why we need some kind of wealth tax as soon as possible. Just some kind, not perfect design, not endless debate, just direction. Because
nah, these might be fine teeth where you live in Glasgow. I don't know about here in England.
Because while we debate, billionaires are buying up housing, media companies...
A lot of slander out there about English people and their teeth.
And political influence.
Revolutionary terminology. Yeah, that's what they do.
While we argue about how it would work, they're using that wealth to make sure we keep arguing forever. Movement matters more than perfection.
Millionaires must go vote wealth tax.
Because actually, you don't need confrontation to challenge the status quo. You just need agreement. So don't let the traitors keep winning. And yes, when I say traitors here, I'm talking about billionaires. People, or traitors to mankind. People who take 99%
Wow, this guy's so radical, right?
of the resources and call it earned success. I honestly, though I'd love to see a version of the Traitors where one contestant keeps 99% of the food and water. I really wonder how long that would last. I mean, just for the complaints. Though I know one thing for certain, the faithful wouldn't debate those rules. They'd change them in real time. Or there's another way to see it. We are presently in a car driving off a cliff, an inequality cliff that's getting wider and wider and wider.
This fucking guy, man. Well, imagine we're driving off a cliff literally right now. Okay, man. Okay, man.
Wider and deeper and deeper and deeper. And we're arguing about whether we need to turn the wheel 10 degrees to the right or 20 degrees to the right.
It's so fucking retarded.
Avoid the cliff. And you know what? Let's just start turning right. Let's just try to avoid the cliff because it's getting closer and closer. The perfect wealth tax is one that we do. Simple as. Because doing something...
No, if you're 13, this is actually well deep. This is actually well deep.
Something right now is 100% more important than doing nothing. And that is the perfect wealth tax. And that's not...
So I hope you understand, like, the argumentation as well. It's just, well, it's better than nothing, so just do it. Like, he says the wealth tax debate is a trap. What debate does this guy fucking do? None, I bet.
A trick. End of.
He's got this, like, what is this broken mug here for? Why have you got a broken mug? Like, I hate these people.
So when you're in a conversation and people are talking about nitpicking this tax, this idea, that idea, bring it back to, hang on, it's the right thing to do though, a wealth tax, right? That is...
Well, you can't demonstrate that, and for a lot of people, what's right is what's effective and what will actually improve things.
The right thing. Have the stats about the asset bubble, have the stats about the IMF, the OECD, and say, right, that is the thing to do. Now, the exact, we'll work it out as we go along, but are you agreed on that? And if you can get somebody to agree that a wealth tax, an asset bubble tax, however you want to phrase it, is the right...
Many bags of tea, a lot of bags of tea.
...direction, that's all you need somebody to agree on. You don't need them...
Yeah, just have them agree with everything because you showed them some statistics. That famously is how everything is solved.
...to build the policy there, right there, in real time for you.
Locks on his chest. Oh, yeah. What the fuck's that about? This is a weird fucking a weird fucking set, man. Like, what is any of this?
Because the perfect wealth tax is one that we all agree on. And what we all...
shows he's poor and doesn't make frivolous purchases. I think not burning your fucking hand when you have tea is like, or coffee or whatever, isn't frivolous, but yeah.
agree on is that we need a wealth tax.
Yeah, so we just need it. You just have to agree with us that we need it. And just do it and then work out all the details later. It's like fucking painful. Anyway, I think that's about it for watching Gary Stevenson Skinwalkers. It's been a lot of fun. I think I subbed to that Andrew guy. Why am I... Whatever. I think I subbed to that Andrew guy, so if he posts anything else funny, then maybe, but that's about it for now. Have a good day. I'm going to stop now. I will be back either tomorrow or the day after at a more normal time, like kind of sometime after 2 p.m. British time. But I don't know exactly when yet, because stuff's busy at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I have a life outside of doing this. Did he actually lay out what the perfect wealth tax is? No, the point of it was just start doing it and then work it out as you go. Like, these people have no arguments. It's just like populist drivel. That's all it is. And people eat it up, you know. It's like, it's embarrassing seeing what some, like, you know, right-leaners and like gender criticals and stuff listen to and eat up. But then you listen to what like people on the left fucking eat up, and it's like just as bad. It's like just as embarrassing. Anyway, I need to stop. Thanks all for watching. Have a good night, have a good evening, have a good whatever's going on. Probably back either tomorrow or the day after.